Okay, so in this video we are going to use the range function, and the range function has three things. First is the start, then stop, and the step. Start means the range will start from which number or which value, and stop will where to stop, and step means how many steps should be between the values, means if there are two values, what should be the difference between the two values, right? Let's say if I'm defining a variable x. Okay, so x is equal to range 7, right? Okay, so what does it mean? X is having the values, you can say the values are from 0 to the 6, right? That particular value which you mention here will be excluded. Before that value all will be included from 0 to 6. Okay, so if I want to print these values for, let's say I define one more variable I. In x I'm passing s here in the for loop. Okay, so now I want to print I, right? Because all these values will be stored here inside the I one by one. Okay, so print I, and now run this. Okay, you see here the values are stored. The values are from 0 to the 6, not the 7, right? Okay. Okay, so another way we can use the range is for creating the list. For example, I want to print a list, and again I'm passing the values also. So in this case, if here we are going to use the list, you have to use this normal bracket, not the square bracket. Okay, so here range, for example I give the range again 7. Okay, so all these brackets are closed. Now this single statement is printing all these values of the list, and list is provided with the value 0 to 6. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so this is the list created from 0 to 6 number, right? And if I don't pass anything, or you can say 0, okay, so in that case an empty list is created. Okay. Okay, so another way is what we can do is we can give these values of start. Let's say I give start. Okay, so start is having value 2, stop is having value 14, and let's say step is having value 3. Okay, so what this will do, this is how we can give the values to these keywords, or you can say now these are the constant values for the next statement. Okay, so now I want to print the list, and inside the list I'm going to give the range function, and inside this I use these words, you can say. Okay, stop and step. Okay, so these values are already defined here, right? Okay, so this list will be printed, and what are the values inside this list are start from 2, and the difference will be 3, means after 2 there will be 5, and then 5 added 3 is 8, and added is 14. If you add 3 into this, the value will be 14, but 14 is excluded, right? So at this value you have to stop, means before this you have to end the list. Okay. Okay, one more thing what we can do is, for example the start is 2, and I give a negative value here, and here I give the difference is also -2. 2 minus 2 is 0, means the next value should be 0, and then -2 means you can say the -2 will be the next value. Let's print this. So first value is 2, and if we subtract 2 minus 2 is 0, then again from the 0 if we subtract 2, then it's -2, and again -2 is -4, and so on up to -12, because this value will be excluded. Okay, so this is how we can use the range function.